Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech Focus TV with me, Toby. Today I am absolutely delighted to have in the studio Naufal from SM Netzero. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How about yourself? Nice.
Very good indeed.
To be here.
Well, look, it's great to have you. You are a long-term contact of one of our consultants, Kira Clark. Yep. Kira has been raving about you and saying you're doing some really cool stuff at the moment and tracking your career as a sort of data engineer, and now you're sat here with something which is very close to a lot of people's hearts at the moment. We're talking the race to net zero in a really interesting space. So a recent launch alongside the day job.
Yep.
We're going to dive into all of that, see where it happens, yep, and discuss what's happening in that space, why you started it, what's happening with it, where it goes. So lots and lots to get into. So let's start with the intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you arrive here today.
Cool. Well, firstly, thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure.
And in terms of just introducing myself, born and raised in London. Well, I've already mentioned my name anyway, so I'm going to go into that. In terms of my educational background, I've got a degree in maths, coming from a mathematical background, so very analytical. It was very theoretical as well. And then doing a postgrad certificate in applied meteorology. So that's where I really picked up or improved my understanding of climate in general, as well as going into specifics on how the weather system actually works.
And was that a natural interest that led you to that? Or?
That was natural curiosity.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I wish it was more mathematical than it was.
Yeah.
I did gain something out of it, and it did give me some sort of appreciation as to why it's important to, as human beings, to take care of our weather system.
Yeah.
I eventually ended up doing the applied stats as a master's after that, which gave me the appreciation that as part of looking at our weather, we also need to analyze data as well to understand not only how our weather works, possible predictions on what the weather may look like in the next few days, and etc. In terms of where I've been throughout my career, so I've worked in places like media, advertising, fintech as well, and consulting.
Yeah.
But what led me to really, the main thing for why I decided to start this up. So when I was at the last stint before consulting was at a sustainability software startup.
Okay.
And I was actually involved in building one of their major features, their ingredient level footprint features. So what that means is you'll get a customer who comes along and says, right, we've got a lot of data at ingredient level. So I don't want to mention company names, but let's say you get data with ketchup, mayonnaise as an example.
Yeah.
They wanted to know, okay, given all the ingredients that produces ketchup and mayonnaise, how much emissions are we emitting into the atmosphere as a result of producing these products? So I built the main feature that basically takes that data and gets their emissions calculated based off other factors, but based off their ingredients. One of the reasons why I decided to start this up was when I was at this sustainability startup, they had customers. During one of their conferences, the customers were basically shouting for direct integration. In other words, being able to connect their source system directly into a system that they could feed data into, get their emissions calculated and sent back into their source system.
Yeah.
That wasn't available in the market. So that gave me a motivation to say, oh, there's a gap.
I love those origin stories. Yeah.
So why not fill that gap in?
Yeah.
And that's where it all started. That's where it all started.
And so talk to me about how, so I'm always interested in this. So you're there and it becomes an idea. You've got a busy job on the day job.
Yeah.
Alongside that, how did that sort of come about? How did when you say you've got the acorn of this idea, you see a problem, and you say I'm going to start a company. As you said, you've worked in sort of a number of different companies in different sectors, to date. What suddenly then says to you, this is my entrepreneurial time, this is where I'm going to go, this is something which needs to have a business?
It was a mixture of, one of the motivations for starting this up was not only to fill this gap in the market, but also to kind of get some time back in life.
Yeah, okay.
Because if I see myself as, if I start this business, I'll be able to get more time in the long term to do like other things as well as run this business as well.
Yeah.
It was pretty much that sort of motivated me, as well as getting the push from the missus, funny enough.
Yeah, okay.
She was saying to me, because I did tell her about like the gap in the market, what have you. She said, well, if you found the gap in the market, why are you sitting down not doing anything about it? Why don't you go off and start something?
There you go.
So I thought, well, why not?
Yeah.
And she was like, boasting about the fact that, I've got a degree in maths. She was saying I'm very intelligent.
Her words.
That's her words, it's not my words.
I'll back her.
So why not start this?
Yeah.
So yeah, that eventually led me to, because I didn't want to start it then because it's conflict of interest. So I had to eventually leave, and then for like 8 months, that's where I just focused on building this application.
Yeah. Amazing. And so that's where it took a little bit of time to obviously make that move and put all your ducks in a row and get that sorted out. 8 months then building it.
Yeah.
Talk to us about where you are today.
So now we have, we've got a basic application up and running.
Yeah.
With some key features, with some of the key features.
Yeah.
There are like the unique selling points we're still finalising the design for it at the moment, but we are hoping to, as soon as we finalise the design within like the next 3 months, then we're going to go ahead and actually build the whole thing.
Yeah, wow. And you're saying you've got partners involved in this, or is it just you? Or
at the moment, it's just myself and my wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the pair of you are just running at it and building all that. And so that's where you're at. And you mentioned a little bit around it. But if we look at some of the net zero is one of those omnipresent sort of things that looms over people, both in a positive way, but also in a challenging way. For businesses, full stop at the moment. So you're sat there and you recognise this sort of gap in the space. Tell me some of the sort of key themes that people are talking about, thinking about within the whole net zero thing, and define what it because I'm assuming that everyone's read papers and understands a little bit about what's going on. But take us back to the sort of origin of where it sits and why it's important, and some of the challenges that businesses are facing in this.
I mean, if we look at the definitions that's outlined by various organisations such as the UN, the House of Commons Library, and the World Health Organization.
Yeah.
So they've got varying definitions. So with the UN, they've defined net zero as cutting carbon emissions to a small amount of residual emissions that can be absorbed and durably stored by nature and other carbon dioxide measures, leaving net zero in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Okay.
It's quite a mouthful. I have to admit. With
not one to memorise.
Yeah, I couldn't memorise that one. Whereas the other two are they're more simple. So with the House of Commons, they mentioned that total greenhouse gas emissions being emitted is equal to the number of greenhouse gas emissions removed from the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And similarly, World Health Organization has a very similar definition to that. So you can see just from the definitions how it can be somewhat confusing.
Yeah.
Especially with the UN's definition, it's quite hard to memorize and quite hard to understand as well. But with net zero, it's a main driving force, especially from government. Yeah,
of course.
Because I mean, it's been on the news for since COVID.
Yeah.
That they are key. They are very keen on. I mean, they were a bit too optimistic with setting net zero targets 2030.
Yeah.
So they've pushed that to 2050.
Yeah.
To say that they want businesses to reduce their emissions by practically zero by 2050.
Yeah. Which
does create challenges.
Yeah.
From them, I mean, the major one here is lack of tools.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are loads of businesses that have tools available, but some of the challenges they may face with that is how to use that tool. Is it user friendly? Does it help businesses achieve their net zero target? So that leads on to another thing, which is complexity of measuring their footprint. So in particular, what's called scope 3, I'll define what scope 3 is. Scope 3 is in other words, indirect emissions that happen within a company's supply chain. So example is you have a logistics company who may deliver a parcel to a particular location, and then the recipient of that parcel may dispose of it in ways which can contribute further emissions into the atmosphere.
Okay, yeah.
So one of the challenges there is being able to link the logistics data with the waste disposal data.
Yeah.
Because you may have logistics which is granular and then waste disposal which is aggregated.
Yeah. I'm with
So
you.
it's like how to manage that.
Yeah.
So that's one challenge. That's just an example. I mean, there's many more challenges.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Another key
We're not going
thing
to be
is,
short on challenges for it all.
I mean, the world we live in is very complicated.
Yeah.
Another challenge that businesses will face or may face is lack of sustainability teams and departments.
Especially with cuts as well
Yeah.
recently. It feels like the last couple of years where there's an awful lot of movement towards that. We've sort of scaled back a little bit over the last year or two.
There's a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
Rising cost of living.
Yeah.
Rising business costs,
Yeah.
which means that businesses may not have the same incentive as they had before to actually purchase these tools and use them. So with the lack of sustainability teams and the lack of funding, they may not have the necessary ability to come up with strategies and target or help businesses come up with strategies that will meet net zero targets.
Yeah.
Which leads on to it does lead on to lack of knowledge as well, because if you don't have a sustainability team, then you won't have knowledge of all the laws, the regulations, the different policies that governments and different institutions have put in place to ensure businesses meet their net zero targets.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you can see the complexity that sails out in front of you.
It does get complex, but I mean, the aim of this application is to help solve those challenges.
Yeah, so talk to us about that. So aim to stage right you. You're coming in there to look at you recognise these challenges. Companies recognise this challenge. It's on the radar for everyone. As you said, it's moved back from 2030 to 2050.
Yeah.
My concern always about that sort of thing is how last minute companies are about it. It's always going to be like, it's the same with regulation that comes in tech, right? When new regulation comes in, everyone's going to say, right, we know that's coming. And then all of a sudden it's like, we're running out of project space here. We need to double down, and all the spend suddenly goes in the last 6 months or something. This feels like something you just can't rush in a 6-month period at the end of in 2049 trying to get there to it. So there's an education piece about why people should be thinking about this now, 100%. 25 years out from where it sits. So tell me a little bit about how you come in to help with those challenges and help take businesses forward.
So our platform provides 4 key features.
Yeah.
So which is this our unique selling point, which is the integration.
Yeah.
So the idea is that any business can open up this application and set up an integration workflow where they can connect their system to our system.
Yeah.
Put the data through via this integration piece, get their emissions calculated, and then it gets sent back to their source system or wherever they see fit.
Yeah.
With workflows, it can be either very simple or very complicated, depending on business needs.
Of course. And so, when as you say, you're 8 months into building it, you're where it's at. Tell me about what sort of stage of the process you're at now.
So, I mean, we're at the stage where we've got an application. It's user friendly, so you can log in, click on dashboard, see your statistics, the basic statistics. If you need to upload files, which is actually the second point I wanted to mention, where if businesses are not able to build their integration for whatever reason, they have the option to just upload files, of course in accordance with a particular format, and then they can upload it into our system.
Yeah.
We'll then have things in place that will calculate their emissions, and then they'll be able to see their calculated emissions via a dashboard.
Okay.
So that's number 3. So their dashboard will contain things like year-on-year percentage of emissions being year-on-year percentage of emissions.
Yeah.
So, normally in finance, they'll say if your year-on-year percentage is positive, then that means you're doing very well. But but in this case, if it's greater than 0, then you know that you need to cut your emissions down.
The beauty of dashboards, isn't it? I mean, look, you come from a data background, don't you? And I love the idea there of the big thing for me about data has always been data visualization and actually telling the story. And I think that's the way that things should do. There's a lot of people, particularly in financial services, where data is one of those sort of big trend words. And there's loads of value in it, but actually, what do people actually do with it? And I think where I see it at its absolute best is where people are turning it into data visualization and actually taking that visualization to insight and the insight to action. And it sounds to me like that's exactly the core of what you guys are all about.
That's exactly what we're trying to achieve, is giving them some, to the best of our ability, an accurate story to tell each and every business that we take on. To say, based on your statistics, your data, this is where this is where you need to not so much dictate to them what they should be doing, but just mentioning, here are the offending activities that are contributing in greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. Maybe you need to consider investigating those areas. Which brings on to, with the dashboard, it'll provide them like a top 10 offending activities. Starting from the highest one to the lowest. To say which activity is contributing the most amount of carbon dioxide or methane into the atmosphere.
Isn't it fascinating? And you've obviously been building this. Talking to people about it. What's the appetite been like?
That does pose its challenges. So, talking to people about it, I've seen potential customers who have seemed quite keen on the product, but we're still on course to actually finalising some sort of agreement with customers to say, here's an application for you. You can come in and use it. We're even offering a free trial of 30 days. To say, please come in, use it, provide feedback, criticisms, challenges. If you think it's absolute rubbish, tell me as well. If there's areas that need improvement, I'm more than happy to hear, because that's going to only make the application better.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's so important, isn't it? Like, I've worked and seen numerous startups over the last 25 years, and the ones that I love and the ones that generally tend to have that sort of real growth and success rate are the ones who are constantly thinking about how can we adopt, rather than just saying, and I see a lot of people who are founding for the first time come in there and they're very evangelical about what they should do and saying that this is why we're doing it, and it's almost like patronising to their customers about why they need to utilise them. I love what you've just said there about saying, look, let's utilise it, let's get it into the business, and then let's work together to find out exactly what you want to do. And to me, product management is a critical part of the journey of where you want to go, to 100%. Be able to set that up and see, whilst there's a very clear problem, how do you set yourselves up best to solve that problem and work with the customers to get that bit sorted out. Which I guess, by all means, if there's any other areas of the business and the product which you want to talk through, give us.
No worries. There is one part which is given the current climate of every single market in the world at the moment. With the push of AI, with the push of wanting to reduce as much work as possible. Costs as well.
Diplomatic way of putting it. Efficiency.
So we do aim to provide an AI assistant to help businesses even build their workflows as well. So instead of having to configure the integration workflows manually, they can use the AI assistant to actually get their integrations built from ground up.
Perfect. So exactly what you're talking about with the pressure on sustainability teams and the budgets around that. You basically come in there and I've heard a number of different businesses talking about their agents effectively acting as employees. And if you can get to that sort of phase where you're helping these people, get to where they need to be without the budget of having to swell the team up even further, that's a great way of looking at it.
Definitely, because I see this application as it's not just me who's building it; it's for everyone. Because we're trying to we're all
almost
working
like
together. It's a global thing. We're all working together to cut down on emissions. Reduce the use of even natural gas, things like natural gas, coal, non-renewable energy sources, trying to move away from using non-renewable energy sources to renewable. I mean, that has a high upfront cost, but it has long-term savings as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, helping businesses get to that point, it's not just about me pushing the product, it's also customers coming back and saying, we want X, Y, and Z. We would like X, Y, and Z. We don't like how this particular feature works. We're like, if you could improve that or change it completely, please do. I'm very open to, criticism on that.
Yeah. And I think that sort of comes back to it, to say that, there's a lovely part of that to say that's exactly how I think business should be run, full stop, feedback, two-way loops, perfect. But it also sort of, as you were talking through there, it sort of said, this isn't more just a commercial model for you, this is about purpose. And if you go back to what you said at the very start about why you got into this and where your degree came from and why it's important, I think purpose-led businesses are incredibly important in terms of where and what they want to do with it all. And that sounds like it's very much more than just a side hustle for you in terms of what we're looking at.
I mean, if it's for me, I'm aiming it to be full time. So at one point, I can just focus on this. Yeah. Put my heart and soul into it. Also blood, sweat, and tears, as they say.
Yeah. You're now getting used to the startup world, right? So come in to expand on from that. So as you say, look, at one point in time, that's where it will be. Yeah. What's the beautiful, bold vision? What's the where do you see the business going?
Well, number one is to be a leader in providing sustainability software solutions. Yeah. To as many businesses as we possibly can. Yeah. So not only will that give each business an edge in that particular market, but we also aim for it to be in a way where sustainability is as core as like a financial department. Yeah. So you need an accountant. You need I think accountants do taxes as well. I can't remember exactly. But you need an accountant to manage your finances either way. Yeah. So similarly with sustainability, you need a sustainability team or a department to manage, to dictate exactly how or whether the business is sustainable or not. Yeah. So providing them this solution will enable them to be on top of the sustainability game. Yeah. Yeah. Giving them a competitive advantage. Also aligning with global regulations. So subject to location, region, we aim to ensure that however we're calculating our emissions, that they are in accordance with laws, local laws, regulations, frameworks. Yeah. Number one, so we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Of course. But number two is to provide clarity and reassurance. Yeah. That we are, we do stick to regulations. Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's one of the key parts of it. And you mentioned there the competitive advantage. And I always talk about good business effectively being something that gives the customer an unfair advantage against the competition. And so that to me is always the best businesses which you can invest into. You want to be in a situation or to either invest in or to invest on the other side to buy into your business. Yeah. So when I'm looking at software or technology or whatever it is that we want to bring into Harrington Starr as a company, it's always how does that help us to have a competitive advantage over our competition. I think when you're coming in here and building this business, it's the same question which you're posing to or showing to your customers. Yeah. We are the horseshoe in the boxing glove, the unfair advantage in the fight to allow you to do that. So just if you're there to surmise that, how you become the unfair advantage for by bringing your technology into a business in this race for net zero, but also commercially for their for their business as well. What are the advantages of a company right now for them to bring you into the equation?
Well, number one is automation. So we provide a fully automated platform for businesses, especially when they use the integration piece, because they don't have to worry about whether it's faffing around with spreadsheets and PDFs. Yeah.
All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff is saving a lot of time on that as well. Yeah. Giving them an open platform, it's flexible as well. So depending on business needs, they could configure their integrations the way they see fit. Yeah. It's in other words automation. Yeah. Providing a fully automated platform, going by providing statistics from real time to a matter of minutes, depending on size of data.
So that brings their efficiency through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the data is small, then obviously they'll get their results pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
With very large data sets, then hopefully it'll be a matter of minutes, because you can't expect it to be fully real time.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to feed in terabytes worth of data and expect it to be expect real time results.
I think everyone understands that, don't they? Yeah. Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah. As soon as it was out of my mouth, I thought, actually, then I started thinking back to some of the people I've dealt with over my career, and there's not a lot of patience in business, is there?
No, it's true. Like, we need the results. We need it done now.
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday. So it's a really exciting spot to be in. Talk to me about it. Circling back, just talk to me a little bit about the journey. So you've been doing it, for 8 months or so now.
I've been doing it for 8 months. It's been a bit longer than that.
Yeah.
We officially launched in April.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's not an April Fool's joke. It's been since April. We're in the process of getting customers, offering 30-day free trials.
Yeah.
In terms of what the pattern's been like, it's been during the day work, and then after 5:30, straight on it.
Yeah, and you're loving it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I can see it in your face. You can see it's something which you're deeply passionate about.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've learnt so much in a very long time.
Yeah.
Building this application, I've learnt so much in the process.
Yeah.
Like stuff that I would never have learned otherwise.
Yeah.
Even whether it's technical stuff, being able to build infrastructure, to having a front-end application, and also understanding business implications and strategizing how we should move forward.
Yeah.
Before starting this, I've never really thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing the acceleration of learning, and you kind of do every single job in the book as well.
Yeah, pretty much
at the same sort of time. So from being that sort of confined sort of data engineering background to what you're talking about, to be the CEO, the CRO, the CFO, everything in between. But it's great fun though, isn't it? And it's enlivening in coming into it, and particularly when you're doing something important, as you are right now.
I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So people are watching this and want to find out a little bit more about it and see, find out about the company. I looked through the website earlier on. That's up and running.
Yeah.
What's the best way to find out more about the business? Where can they go?
I mean, there's the website.
Yeah.
You could contact me directly.
Yeah.
Whether it's on my SM Netzero email address or even on my Gmail account.
Yeah.
I'm available whenever. So
and you're on LinkedIn, aren't you? So
I'm on LinkedIn as well.
We'll make sure you tag in there and do that sort of stuff. So, and who should be talking to you? Talking about the sort of companies who should be reaching out, the sort of people who can reach out. Who can you help?
I mean, I can help pretty much any business who is in need of their emissions being calculated. Can range from logistics to retail to even financial firms as well.
Yeah, perfect.
So whoever's in need of their emissions calculated,
you're the guy.
I'm the main man.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you. Thanks so much for coming in
and
joining us on the show. I wish you the very, very best of luck with it. I'm sure it's going to be a roaring success. I'm sure it's going to be a roaring success, predominantly because you're passionate about it, and I love seeing that sort of thing from founders, particularly first-time founders, about where it's going. You're serving a problem that everyone clearly has and is universal, and also it's just sort of like it's that perfect fusion of everything that you've done in your career to date, and bringing the best of all that sort of stuff through into an area that matters. And what I love most about all of it, if I'm to take all that into play, is your desire there to not be, as I said, that evangelical founder who's telling everyone why they have to use it, but let's say, look, let's work together, let's create this solution, let's work out what works for you and improve it and get better.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I think you've got that sort of Kaizen-led mindset of continuous improvement into what you want to do as a business, that to me is where all some of the great stories come into it. So 100%. I genuinely wish you massive success with it all. I'm sure you don't need it. I'm sure it's there and en route already. But yeah, very best of luck, and thanks for coming on and talking about it on the show today.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
And thank you all for watching. We will see you soon on the next episode of FinTech Focus TV. Thanks a lot.